Hey, 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 welcome, welcome, welcome. I am going to start sharing my screen so we can move through this fairly quickly. Want to make sure that we use your time wisely. So, Connect and Elevate presents Live Your Optimal Life. Thank you so much for joining us, and I'm excited to get started. So, I am Jen Jones. I am a realtor, I'm a speaker, and best-selling author of Intrapreneur. Back here, this beautiful book, and it's strategies to help introverted entrepreneurs build their business. And when I talk about that, someone's going to be like, oh, this isn't for me. Well, let me stop you right there. Everything that we're going to talk about, especially post pandemic, I just want you to be open and listen. It's just a short 20 minutes. Now it's probably 18 minutes that we're just going to go through and take a look at energy, your goals, gifts, and how do you roll that all in and build a beautiful business and life. Because let's be real, the only reason why we are in business is to live our optimal life. All right. Or that's why I do it. I'm passionate about it. And also, it gives me joy and it provides for my beautiful life. So, a little bit about myself, real quick. I am a wife. I am a mom of three, 18 and 20, and an 8-year-old who is full of energy, full of energy. So, as an introvert, that can be challenging at times. And so, this is like a perfect segue to hop into your energy. And so, when we think about your energy, it could be your physical energy, it could be your mental and emotional energy. So, it could be your spiritual energy, it could be really anything. So I just want you to stay open to it's not just getting things done, it's the people around you. It's the thoughts in your mind that drain your battery. So let's take a look at energy leaks. So when we think about energy leaks, what do you think about? Is it, for an introvert, it could be going to a large meeting. It could be going to a conference. Those can be very draining. Although it can be energizing too if you have an opportunity to step out here and there and or only go for a little bit or go for the time that is provided for you to, maybe network just a little bit or in smaller groups. So think about what energy leaks are in your life. Is it someone that you know? Is it thoughts that you're thinking? All right. So, our beliefs and our thoughts can drain our battery. I feel like even quicker than, me hopping out there and, running, jogging, well, maybe sprinting. That would probably drain my energy a little bit. But think about everything in your life. And I want you to write down, what are your energy leaks? Is it that meeting that you go to every week, but every week you leave there and you're so drained and the people are draining? Is it your family? Don't get me wrong. I have a wonderful family, but, having, young adults in the house, having, an 8-year-old with lots and lots of energy, I really have to prepare myself every day for what does that look like? For instance, we have soccer and we have soccer practice and soccer games and staying after school and all these things that, just take up a lot of time. And so write down your energy leaks, right? And then we're going to take it to the next step. Okay, so what are my energy rechargers? Is it taking a walk in nature, putting your feet on the ground without any shoes on, although probably not advised in the winter here in Massachusetts. So, or maybe that's something that you like. I don't like to be cold, so that would not do anything for me. Or is it, getting out there in the sun, whether it's summer, whether it's winter, just getting some sun is just so rejuvenating. It's nourishing. It's wonderful. It's how I like to actually recharge. But there's more to that. Some people are like, oh, massages, getting your nails done. And there is nothing, I love all of that. There is nothing wrong with any of that stuff, as long as it recharges you. Because you think about it, a 1 hour massage, that's great. Like you were able to carve out 1 hour and leave there relaxed. But if you're leaving there and you're going right to the next meeting, or you have to go to a big, conference, or you have to run around and do errands, take a look at how you're scheduling your rechargers, because sometimes you feel like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to be all relaxed. I'm going to be rejuvenated. My battery is going to be up in the green. And then you've scheduled yourself to the point where just lost all of that energy just in a matter of a couple of hours. So I really want you to think about what recharges your battery and how can you plan it so that maybe it's waking up and doing a morning routine. That's something that, it changes, but for the most part, it's, picking a card, speaking of, I'm going to pick a card, picking a card, journaling, yoga, exercise, whatever it is. Just remember that, you don't have to do it for an hour or two. It could just simply be 15, 20 minutes in the morning. Maybe it's a few minutes before everyone gets up. Don't get me wrong. I know if you do have children, mine seem to get up when I get up early. So I don't know if it's my energy that sort of, wakes him up or what, but even just this morning, I was up early and sure enough, he was up a few minutes before 6 o'clock, which usually he'll sleep till like 6:30. So it is just a matter of trial and error too, trying to figure out what rejuvenates your energy and what makes you feel recharged on an ongoing basis because every day we're like I don't know where my phone is, so every day we're like a phone, right? We need to be plugged in. But you know what? My phone does not like to be on red. And usually when it's on red, it goes down to like, well, I don't say zero. That's only happened a couple times, like 2%, really, really quickly. So I think it's important to remember that even when we get down to 50%, it's okay, maybe it's time to do something. Maybe it's time to take a 10-minute break from whatever we're working on. Go take a walk, go listen to a meditation. Find those quick 5, 10 minute things that you can do to sort of build up that recharge so that you can move on with your day. And I guess I already started talking about some of this other stuff. So once you've figured out what those rechargers is, so let me, I have a whole list here. Oh, I thought I marked it, but I wanted to, I think I did. Maybe not. Here we go. So I wanted to just read a couple of the other things that, meet up with a friend, get on the phone with a friend, do some gardening, have some quiet time with yourself, take a bath, cook. Those are not 5-minute things. But you definitely can't. Well, I mean, I guess you could cook in 5 minutes real quickly. Do some energy healing, do some praying. So I want you to think about some of the things that you can do that rejuvenate yourself. And maybe some of those things that I just said actually are part of what you already do, but you're just not sure. Like, you keep charging, but you keep losing all that energy. So that's when you got to go back to those energy leaks and figure out, okay, what are those leaks? So what's the plan? What's your energy plan? And part of that is really knowing and doing that trial and error and finding your, what I'll call your like 3 to 5 go-to things when you only have about 5 to 15 minutes or when you have a little bit longer time. So when I have a longer time, I have a whole thing. I like a couple longer meditations. I'll sit and I'll write a little bit more. I'll read a little bit longer, or I'll listen to my audiobook. I haven't been reading recently because I have an audiobook that I've been listening to. So just think about like, what's the plan that you have when you only have a little bit of time? And then when you have, I don't say a lot of time, when you have more time. And then you're like, Jen, I don't have any time. Well, I definitely don't want you to lose sleep because honestly, sleep is something that's so imperative to our energy that I don't want to say, oh, get up 15 minutes earlier. But what I will say is see if you can get to bed 5 minutes earlier and even just listen to a meditation. Now I listened to a podcast and talked about, no screens 2 hours or an hour prior to actually going to sleep. So I would highly recommend that if you're going to use your phone for meditation, that you have it all the way down or on your blue light so that you can just go right to where you need to go and you bring up the meditation and do it for 5 minutes. I have found that doing that is really helpful in falling asleep and staying asleep. Now, staying asleep, I'm on a rampage now on sleep, and that wasn't even part of what I was going to talk about. But when it comes to sleep, what I want you to do is, I don't have a hard time going to sleep. I used to, I don't anymore. I have my little eye thing that I feel like helps and pushes pressure on my head. But if you wake up in the middle of the night, what I have done is I have my little earbuds by my nightstand so that I'm not waking up my husband. And I will put on like meditative music. I won't do like a guided meditation. I'll do meditation music for like, I think it's called for deep sleep and relaxation, something like that. And, 7 out of 10 times I'll go back to sleep. And so just think about those things because those are, not getting enough sleep just adds to the energy leaks, and they just take your energy quicker and quicker and quicker. So get good sleep. And I think that is part of your energy plan, is getting good sleep, having good sleep habits, but also what can you do during the day to keep your battery recharged as best as you can. And there are some times when you are just completely burnt out and your body is telling you and you might be ignoring it. So if that is you, I would just highly recommend to take a couple of days and figure out like what do you need to do at this point? What needs to come off your plate? Maybe a brain dump might be a good idea, and go through and figure out, okay, what are my priorities and what can I let go, or even let go for now? Okay, let go for now. And then at the end of the day, or during the day, there is an energy evaluation. So as you're going through the day, even if it's like 3 times in the day, or, I say every hour for a couple of days, so you can really see where your energy is. But what I would do is rate your energy and what you were doing. So, okay, I started in the morning at, an 8, and now I'm down to a 7. So it really didn't take up too much energy, but I started out as an 8 and now I'm down to a 3. What were you doing? Okay. What were you doing and what drained your energy? And I think just being aware of that is so important. So we're going to talk about actions at the end, but I think I've given you plenty here. So we're going to move on to your goals and gifts. So setting goals in all areas of your life is just so important. And if you haven't, or you're like, oh, I'm starting to think about planning for 2024, sit down, write out your goals, even if it's like just 3 goals that you want to do for this, this next quarter or this next year coming up. And then I want you to think about, as an introvert, and if you are not an introvert, that's okay. Think about some of these gifts because they do cross over. But I'll specifically talk to introverts because sometimes introverts have a hard time realizing that they have beautiful gifts like listening. Okay. Other things like team leader or team player and a leader. You're the calm in the storm. So I know that's one thing that comes up. You're reflective. You're a thinker. And I'm just going to read a couple more of these so I don't forget. And you are able to sit alone, to think, to come up with great ideas. You're persistent, a problem solver. And my favorite is you're an expert in your field. And you want to know why? Is because you have listened to what your clients and customers want, and you have been calm, and you're a leader, or you've worked together as a group that is leading. So I just want you to think about some of those introvert gifts that you do have. This is my beautiful book, Intrapreneur, that's on the slides here. And think about the things that you have gifts for. You may have all of them, but what is the 1 or 2 top gift that you have that you can then take with you, review your goals, and integrate the gifts? For instance, you're a good listener. And so, you look at some of your goals and it's like, oh, wait a minute. That is really important for someone, right? Like if your goal, I'm trying to think of a goal right off the top of my head because I didn't actually think of an example. But if you're a good listener, then you're able to help your clients and customers come up with their plan. So for instance, I'm just going to go through this, right? So I'm a good listener and I'm going to listen to you. And if you're an introvert, I'm going to listen to the things that you light you up, that you're passionate about, that you're excited about. And I'm going to listen to all of those things, and you're telling me about your energy and you're telling me about how you recharge. And so I'm going to pick up on those things that are draining your energy, and I'm going to write them down as I'm listening to you because I'm actively listening. And then I'm going to come up with a plan. Hey, you know what? You said these are your energy drainers, your energy leaks. And then you said these things work over here. So what I would love for you to do is, when you feel like you're getting down to that red in your battery, I want you to go over here and I want you to sit in the sun. I want you to take a bath. Now, it's not taking a bath is not always ideal at the time, but I tell you, in 2022, I had so many baths and it was glorious. I got out of them. It wasn't something that I needed anymore. And I don't know, I keep thinking about it. I think I might go take a bath. So review your goals and integrate your gifts. So look at what are people's, because you're a problem solver, what are people's problems that you're solving and how can you listen so that you can provide the service or the product that will help them. So I think that's really important to think about and know about yourself is what are your gifts and how can you integrate them into your goals? Grow your business. All right, so this one I have to read because it's actually definitions. And so growing your business, I have these three things, right? And they sort of all come together and are one, right? And that's why I have this little, right, this here, because if they all come together and intersect right here. All right. So as we're growing our business as an entrepreneur or somebody else, just think about some of these things. We're connecting with people, we're networking with people, and we're building relationships. Those are like the three pillars of building your business. And so I want to read to you because I know a lot of people are like, ew, networking. I don't like networking. It's so, pass out business cards. It's so draining. There we go. It's so draining. But if we can also shift our thinking, which I talked about earlier, if we can shift our thinking about networking and about connecting, it is so important to the relationships that you build. So here we go. Networking, action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional or social contracts. So that's networking, right? So kind of stiff, but we need the action. We need the interaction to develop our contacts, right? And then connecting is to form a relationship. So it's all interconnected. And relationships, it's an ongoing thing. We meet someone, we stay in contact with them, we go out, go to coffee with them, have a Zoom, depending on, what kind of business you have. It's either in person, Zoom, or a combination of both, depending on where people are. But to grow your business, you really need to have a mindset of this connecting and networking coming together because we have been trained to do networking like passing out cards, getting as many people as possible on our list, right? They don't even have to be our ideal client or customer. We just want more, 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 more. It's definitely not how I run my businesses. And it's definitely not something that, is even heart-led. It's something that feels icky to me. I love going to networking events. That's funny. I love going to networking events if there is an if I'm able to have some downtime prior to the networking event. It does help that some of the networking events that I do go to, I'm actually running, or I'm on what we'll call leadership. So I'm on either the board or I volunteer and help in some capacity. So that really integrates me into the whole group of people to be able to build those relationships. And it's over time. Building your business doesn't happen overnight. I mean, I guess it could if you have the right people already in your circle, but it takes relationship building. And when we are good about building those relationships, our business thrives. And when we forget about people, it's okay. It happens. I probably should have put follow up on one of these things. It's something I talk about in my book also, is to remember to follow up with people. So we're connecting, we're networking, we're building relationships. In order to continue to build those relationships, we have to make sure we're following up, whether it's on a personal level or professional level. I mean, I've done coffee with people where we've just chatted about like our kids or about the school or about, a group that we run, so there are opportunities to build relationships as an introvert or anyone else who's listening. But if you are an introvert, growing your business honestly is about relationships. And when you're able to see networking as an opportunity to connect, to build relationships, you'll want to do the follow up. It might be hard at first, and you might have to take your time with the follow up. But just remember, if you do tell someone that you're going to send them something, you grab their card, I'm going to send you something, just make sure you follow through on anything that you promise. I think that's really important. Just for you as a person, you made a commitment to go out there and network, and then you made a commitment to someone else to bring forth some information. So just remember as you go through the networking process, and it could be a small group, it could be one-on-one, whatever you're doing, just remember that follow-up is really important. All right. So I must have clicked something on here. That is very funny. I am going to leave it because you know what? Nobody's perfect and baked fresh. So, you know what? We are baking fresh actions. All right. So I'm going to pass through this. I gave you some things to do, but what I didn't do is for relationships. What I would love for you to do is, did you talk to someone over the last, I don't know, 2 or 3 months, maybe during a networking event, maybe someone connected you and you forgot to do follow up with them? Go and do the follow up, pick up the phone, text them, however you set up the meeting, send them an email, send them a Facebook message, a LinkedIn message, wherever it was. Go ahead and follow up with them and do coffee or a Zoom coffee with them. So those are the actions. I gave you the energy actions, I gave you the goals and the gifts action, and then grow your business with relationships is follow up with someone that you meant to follow up with but didn't. Or if you're good at follow up, go ahead and pick someone that you haven't talked to in the last 6 months and you want to reconnect with them. So client reviews. So I just wanted to put this out there to, we have a couple people here that, really felt that Connect and Elevate an Entrepreneur were an integral part of their lives and their business. So I thank them very much. Here we go. And are you looking for more? Do you want to come and chat with me, see how, ask me questions, see how things are going. And, you can book a call. So bit.ly/20-minute call with Jen, or go ahead and browse Jen's offerings, bit.ly at the beginning of that. Tried to make it short and easy for you. And go out, live your optimal life as an introvert, and you will reap some amazing benefits by paying attention to your energy, your gifts, goals, and relationships. So thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully we will see you on the social networks. Thank you so much.